Alrighty, guys. Welcome to episode 2 of the Lost High Movie Club. I'm here today with MVP, Matthew Victor Pastor, and Hellbent. How are you guys going?
Good.
Shaking off an injury, but hey, I'm here.
What'd you do to yourself?
Oh, I was flipping pool table slates and throwing out garbage, and I forgot that I'm getting older.
You're getting to
So my back is just fucked right now. It's okay. Give it like 2 weeks, it'll heal up.
Well, that doesn't stop you from talking, so that's something.
It hurts like fuck to sit in this chair, but you know what? I couldn't stop for that kind of thing. I have too much fun. It'd have to be like something that's like, no, if you get up and get in the chair, you're going to have an aneurysm. In which case, I'd take a nap. But, it's worth it.
Speaking of aneurysms, how are you doing, Matt?
Yeah, I'm alright, just got the heater on, just chilling out. I don't have any injuries, except, I got a wrist injury here from playing too much table tennis.
Sure.
It is not actually
table tennis.
Table
Is that
tennis,
what the kids
right?
are calling it
Seriously?
today?
You were,
Mate,
were you,
repetitive-
Matt, were you having a bat? Were you?
I was the repetitive movement of the wrist when I flick yep. I really do have a sprained wrist from table tennis, it's not a joke.
It's still funny.
Matt is like an Olympian table tennis player.
No, I actually know an Olympian table tennis player. If they hear this, they're gonna be like, oh, he's like a club player. Oh man. Yep. I literally play table tennis.
Oh, man.
It's still funny. It's hard when you get an injury from something like that because you can never get empathy for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, my friend actually, like, broke his hip playing, and literally they didn't even take it seriously. He was, like, in pain, and they were like, oh, he'll be fine, he should just stand up. And it's like, no, he's on
Table tennis.
Yeah, it's not a real sport, you know?
I hurt my wrist bowling once. I used to league bowl, and that's the same thing. You can't get sympathy for no
Really?
sympathy for that.
Those things are heavy, though, you know?
They are. You can really fucking like fuck yourself up especially if you twist the ball and you over twist it and it doesn't come out. It can actually like dislocate your wrist.
Both of you guys are just walking innuendos, aren't you?
Matt likes handling hot wooden sticks, and I like touching balls.
And we
You
both-
You gotta spin those balls.
Spin
You really
those
gotta
balls,
give them
man.
a good one too. No, I had fun bowling, man. Like, I wasn't professional, but what I'd do is I'd go down to the bowling alley and throw the ball as hard as I could to scare the shit out of people.
Oh, wow.
Like, when you could whip that fucker and get it, like, they had a little mile per hour gauge on there, so it'd gauge how fast your ball's going. When you can whip that fucker like 40 miles per hour and it hits the balls and it's just fucking, it feels good. Then, of course, your arm hurts for the rest of the day, like you just had a 4-day long JO session, and, well.
Yeah. Or like you play table tennis.
You get those guys that they throw the ball so hard that it like goes halfway down the alleyway in the air and then lands.
Oh god, that's horrible. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's like literally fucking up people's like alley. That's
yeah.
fucked.
Fucking up their alley.
Like, I did that when I was a little kid when I didn't know when to let go. But that's something like a mongoloid does, excuse my language, or like, yeah, it's like sloths from the Goonies
No,
at the bowling alley.
they're the people that have bumpers up.
Yeah. They need bumpers in everyday life. They need bumpers on their bed when they go to night-night. Okay, maybe that was a bit mean. Whatever.
Well, I mean, like the most common cause of death is falling out of your bed. So.
That's cool.
Okay,
That's
it's what? It's
great.
like a 1 foot drop. Like, fuck, man.
Well, the thing is, you're not ready for it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
one time
surprised.
my nephew's like 4 years old. I could just smash the shit out of him if I wanted to. And one time he just popped me in the back of my head and, ow, God. I just wasn't ready for it. He thought it was hilarious. Then we took his Beyblade and killed his dog with it.
Did you let it rip?
Is anybody listening to what I'm saying?
Anyway.
Oh, man. Working at the bar, I'll do shit like that.
Does somebody want to give a summary of the shitty film we've all watched this week?
No.
You don't want to?
Oh,
I mean,
here's
like,
a question. Here's a
if
question.
someone-
How do you say the name of the film?
How do you say the name of the film?
Yeah.
How would you say it?
Evanescence.
Evanescence? What film did you watch, Hellbent?
Oh, no, I'm just messing with you. I liked it, honestly. When I was watching it, I didn't quite know where it was going, which is good. But it didn't leave you without any answers, which I know is really easy to do with a film of that type.
Hang on, are we talking about Suburban Commando, or are we talking about my film?
Oh, I was talking about your film, but it applies to Suburban Commando too.
Oh god.
What, Suburban Commando, the problem with that, and I'll be serious for now, because that was fun. But Suburban Commando isn't meant to be a good movie.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's clearly supposed to be parody.
I don't know. I think.
Well, I wouldn't call it parody, but okay, let me put it this way. So Barney the Dinosaur, the movie. They didn't make that thinking this is going to be the next Citizen Kane. We're going to defy expectations with Barney the Dinosaur. Kids don't even know who that is anymore. Fuck.
Yeah.
Showing how old I am.
Yeah.
Did you see Death to Smoochie by any chance? Because that was like meant to be Barney the Dinosaur, but for adults or something.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's actually a good film, but yeah, that didn't even.
Danny DeVito.
Okay.
But no one, yeah, exactly. On the DeVito, no one actually liked that film. I heard, like, it was really panned.
Well, we'll go back to Suburban Commando, but the problem with that movie is that it had high expectations because of the Danny DeVito in there. People didn't watch that thinking it would just be a fun little comedy. They were like, no, this is going to be the next big thing. And I think it was following the heels of stuff like the South Park movie and stuff.
Yeah, it did have a lot of hype going into it, and it really didn't peak until it was on VHS. Like, when it came out to the cinemas, it just cracked.
Yeah, the Thing had that Thing 19. John Carpenter's the Thing. We'll just call it that. John Carpenter's the Thing had that problem to where after it got released on VHS and all that, people are like, man, this is a classic. But at the time, people were like, this is just a sick, gross-out film. This is stupid.
The thing I love about the reviews about The Thing is that they come out and call it mean-spirited. Like, what do you expect?
Does it mean?
That's
no, the alien's not nice.
Did somebody go and see?
It's not like E.T.
Somebody watched E.T. and Starman, like John Carpenter's, optimistic alien film, and we're like, oh yeah, The Thing will be just like those two.
God.
Nope.
Well, yeah, there's something that bothers me about critics almost universally, is that they seem to have like an allergy to fun. Or if something's obviously like Death for Smoochie, for example, it's obviously meant to be a fun movie. It's it's not meant to be fucking Citizen Kane, right? If they get that, they're like, okay, this better be the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen, or else I'm gonna call it blah. And same thing with The Thing. It's like, if this isn't the spookiest, most psychologically terrifying thing that also appeals to every little bit of sensibility I have and doesn't offend me, then it's the worst ever. Being a critic must be hard, just to be unsatisfied with everything.
Well, what would be hard is being a mediocre filmmaker. Like, if you create films that are like that in that 7 range, or 6 to 7 on IMDb, like, you're nothing. You're forgettable. It's like, oh, well, you weren't the best, but you weren't the worst, so no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, you're not The Room and you're not Orson Welles, so yeah, you're kind of oof.
So you're not getting a Wikipedia page, sorry.
Nope. Nobody's gonna remake your movie unless it's some like deranged fucking indie filmmaker.
Yeah, exactly. But should they remake Suburban Commando?
Yeah.
It could be done. I think with the mistakes learned from the first one and the fact that parody's done much better these days. It's like the era of parody, man. Like, everything's getting rebooted. Parodies are all over the place. The internet has made people just a little bit smarter to parody, just a little bit. To where I think if you did, like when Suburban Commando came out back when it did, people aren't going to get like the jokes. So they're going to go, that's not a funny joke. I don't think that's funny. It's like, yeah, that's why it's funny, because it's not. Because
it's what the rise in anti-humor. It's clearly that these jokes are bad and that no one's putting any effort in, but that's what generates the comedy.
Yeah, so, the timing is what matters, and like for whatever reason, a lot of critics are completely temporally deaf, to where if a joke has really good timing and it's done right on the letter, they just take it at face value and like, no, it's not funny. They're sitting there with their fucking notepad, like not like actually taking the movie in. It's like, I better write down these plot points so people think I'm paying attention.
I go as far to say that Hulk Hogan doesn't get any of the timing right, though. That's the thing. Like, he
does not get any of it right. Like that arcade scene where where he's like, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's like you're waiting for that horn effect, like more, more, more.
Monotone drawl, but like ADR. I mean, they re-record his voice obviously, but it always just sounds kind of just plastered in. Like it doesn't really fit. Yeah.
Now, I got a good question. Do you think that was an issue of Hulk Hogan being a bad actor or the director being shit?
Ooh.
I think
it could have been a golden take. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's just an assumption. We can't prove it.
Yeah, I mean,
what if Hulk Hogan had like a brilliant take that was right on, and the director had him do like 100 takes, and he's like, "No, I want the 99th one to where you sound tired and pissed off."
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's first takes are always full of energy and life, and then by the end of it, he's just like, "Huh? What?
I just find it hard to believe that somebody who cut so many wrestling promos like, "Listen here, brother. We're going to go kick Macho Man in his balls, and then I'm going to fuck his wife." You know, it just feels weird that he would do something low energy, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe the director was really good.
That's the thing, man. Like I was saying, like in Australia, like not seeing and being exposed to Hulk Hogan in his prime, like all we've got is these crappy movies he made, like This and Santa with Muscles, where he's just like so low energy and unhyped.
But why
it
so
paints
low
a very
energy?
different picture of him.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's like on one end, I want to blame the director, but on the other end, Hulk Hogan really could be a shitty actor. I mean, I don't have any reason to believe he's like fucking.
I mean, look at that in Gremlins 2, where he does that cameo.
Oh yes.
Where the movie stops and he starts threatening the Gremlins. Like that's pretty good. Like that's by a good director, I'm assuming. I don't even know who directed Gremlins 2.
I think that was Steven Spielberg.
No. Joe Dante, I think.
Was it Joe Dante? I think it might have been Joe Dante. Like, I mean, that's the thing.
I think Spielberg had something to do with it, but
I think he produced it.
Don't ask me.
But yeah, Hulk Hogan's the kind of person who's like a force of nature. I think if you know how to control him and get him hyped up, maybe you just need to give him a bunch of cocaine before he gets on set.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Randy Savage during the Spider-Man movie. Like, he was utilized correctly there.
I don't think he could not utilize Randy Savage correctly.
Oh, leave it to some director to be like, okay, Randy Savage, I need you to be really reserved, and I need you to really just monotone this.
But a wrestler actor can improve. Take Dwayne the Jock
Dwayne the Jock Roxon.
Roxon, yeah. Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Take him. He's gotten better since Walking Tall and
The Mummy.
Yeah, that Scorpion movie, Scorpion King or whatever, where he's like, I mean, it was mediocre, then it got better and better, and even in like the Doom movie, to where he didn't have much to work with. He put the effort in.
Look, I thought he was pretty good in the Doom movie. Like as bad as that movie is, I think The Rock is one of the better parts.
Yeah, that movie got really held back hard by the PG rating and the fact they couldn't like have hell. It was like, no, it's just bioterror. But then you got The Rock in there like putting out a stellar performance, doing a really good bad guy. That worked.
Yeah, and even subverting expectation and making him the bad guy was look, a film like that, you wouldn't expect them to do that at all. I didn't.
I don't know, back then maybe, but yeah, not these days.
Oh no, not now. But
that was still during the like, dude, guys, I'm a wrestler and an actor. I could totally do it. So I think at that point in time, I think you get him in on that. But yeah, I think the wrestlers are a bit underutilized, but it really depends on who it is. Like, I think Hulk Hogan, like we're talking about Suburban Commando, I think a Suburban Commando reboot could work just as long as you got a director that knows how to direct energetic actors.
Would you get John Cena in?
Oh yeah, sure, why not?
Like, because I mean, that's another, like, John Cena's also made quite a decent attempt at being an actor. That's obviously where he wants to be. Yeah, he was.
Like, he jumps
an
out in
animated
front of the
voice.
mystery machine and throws no, he's like as John Cena.
Yeah, but he's not literally, he's not a live action Scooby-Doo is what I mean. Like,
yeah, no, I hate to break it to you, but that wasn't the real John Cena jumping out in front of the mystery machine and throwing the boulder over the canyon, but it was pretty photorealistic animation, though.
It was pretty good. It did look like you could recognize it as John Cena, considering like John Cena like doesn't isn't Randy Savage where you've got fucking costume. You could tell it was John Cena.
Scooby-Doo looks like shit. The old ones, I can't. That cartoon legitimately depresses me when I look at the animation. I don't know. I just feel like whoever drew it was just soulless. Like, what's animation? Yeah, I can draw the dumb fucking dog, and look at this hippie fuck. I don't know.
I think someone
Maybe
was
I'm pessimistic.
Man, this is like the second or third time Scooby-Doo has come up in our conversations. Like, remember that stream where you drew that stupid fucking Scooby-Doo thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Fuck,
that was like one of the first ones, man. We're like on the fucking halfway point on my podcast for the yearly anniversary. Ooh. What'll I do? Probably nothing.
Anyway, back to Suburban
Commando.
So, like, this was like Hulk Hogan's first leading role. After this, he got Mr. Nanny, and then Santa with Muscles, and Thunder in Paradise. I don't know if you remember that, Hellbent. It was a TV show.
Oh yeah, I remember the TV show. Yeah.
Yeah, where he had a super gadget boat that was bigger on the inside.
Yeah, it was pretty much Knight Rider.
Yeah,
just
with a boat.
Hulk Hogan. Night Boat. Yeah.
So I mean, considering like, it's his first film, like we can't really be that hard on him.
Nah, you can. I mean, if somebody does something terrible, it's not like it's better because they're inexperienced or anything like that. The only concession I can make is that maybe he had a bad director. Maybe the script was written. I mean, okay, yeah, and definitely the script was written poorly, but those are things to consider.
Yeah, definitely.
Then again, this is coming from an actor, so.
Yeah, actors and directors. No, it's the actor's fault. No, it's the director's fault. Maybe they'll both be competent.
Yeah. He would repeatedly bad things over and over again, though. It's not just Suburban Commando. I mean, continuously the same problem, I guess.
Well, it seems like his cameos are really good. It seems like the cameos for these wrestlers are always on point, but when they have to carry an hour, that's when it starts to be like, shit, man, my character's not meant to last this long.
He's not really playing Hulk Hogan in the film, like, and that's the problem. I think he can't differentiate himself between the Chef Ramsay and Hulk Hogan. I keep wanting to say Chef Ramsay.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. You got some weird fantasies. But...
The Undertaker was pretty good in it, though. Like, he had a pretty long, drawn-out fight scene with Shep Ramsay.
You mean the lowest low-energy fight scene ever?
The low-energy fight scene. Like, I mean, I kind of enjoyed that, though. I mean, maybe it's just because it's the Undertaker in it.
The Undertaker's interesting guy.
Mark Calloway.
He's been doing that longer than just about anybody, like, consecutively. The fact that he's still, like, in one piece is kind of amazing. So I could believe that he could hang in there, but I bet his if you put him in an hour-long feature, you'd be like, oh my god, this guy's so fucking bland for somebody who, like, jumps off of tight ropes and smashes people's fucking collarbones for a living.
They always, even in that scene when they're fighting, I think are they fighting in a building? And like there's like they put clotheslines in there, and they're doing some wrestling moves like at some point. I noticed whenever a wrestler actor does a fight scene in a film, like they always have to like for example in The Rundown, The Rock does like a rock bottom on someone. Like they just have to work in a wrestling move at some point. Like
yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Condemned. Everybody see that one?
No. I saw him in
I suggest checking it out. I was pleasantly surprised. I went in thinking, oh man, this is gonna be shit. Then I watched it. It's like, oh no, it's just a straightforward sort of military action adventure drama.
Yeah, he's
like, that's nice.
He's in one of the Expendable films, isn't he, Steve Austin?
Yep.
Yeah, he's not too bad.
He also hit his wife.
He hit his wife.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
In a wrestling match?
I don't know. I don't think it was sanctioned.
The unofficial cage
but
match.
Maybe that's how he got off. It's like, no, Your Honor. My bedroom is a sanctioned wrestling arena.
He actually
I had it zoned by the city.
In a ringed. His bed is actually ringed with ropes.
Oh God, this is going down a dark path. We'll move forward.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Yeah, he did the Stone Cold Stunner to his wife. That's great.
Right, okay. So,
did his theme song play after he battered his wife? He smashed a beer up against his head. His neighbors watched in terror.
One question I got for you guys. Like, at the start of the film, you know that president guy who's being captured. What the fuck does he throw at the alien to cut that guy's hand off? Because it looks like an envelope.
That's a good question. Like, it's probably just whatever's laying around.
He pulls it out of his...
Like, just make it move fast enough the audience won't know.
He pulls it out of the sleeve of his shirt and throws it, and it cuts his hand off.
Yep.
Like...
And then it grows out again, doesn't it? It's
yeah,
like
I mean, obviously it's like, you know, he's got some sort of like reptilian suit hand thing. But
Yeah.
It's movie magic, man. And anything can decapitate a person. You could throw like a wadded tissue at someone and have their face explode if you wanted.
But the funny thing is, later in the film, when like Hulk Hogan's in the house, the mailman comes around and he starts freaking out about the envelopes coming into the door.
Yes, he does. There's a motif going there. It's repetitive. Like maybe it was in the original. Like they didn't realize it would not be of importance, so they just cut it out. You know what I mean?
It could have been a deleted scene, yeah.
Where envelopes are a deadly weapon in space.
I don't know. Maybe the president like has special envelopes made for like Secret Service self-defense, whatever. They probably put that in there and like, wow, this is a 5-minute segment to explain why the envelopes do the thing. Just make it go real fast. Nobody will question it. It's meant for kids though, you know. That's the other thing. It's like when critiquing a movie like that, you also have to keep in mind that it's not meant for like a 40-year-old man who like just got off his work day. He's like, man, I just finished reading 1984 and I want a relaxing night at the movies. I'm gonna go watch this Suburban Commando. This sounds like it's a very interesting military drama. It's like, oh no, this is dumb.
Suburban Commando,
like, no,
a film about PTSD and reintegrating in society after Vietnam.
Yeah, like if you go in expecting that instead of like, this is something to shut the kids up for 30 minutes, and the only reason why it's getting a theatrical release is to confuse dumbasses. That movie was never meant to do good on anything outside of a VHS shelf, I don't think.
Yeah.
Man, I just realized the film I described was actually First Blood.
Oh yeah.
It's totally about PTSD and reintegrating into society.
Sylvester Stallone could have been a professional wrestler if he's a little bit taller.
He also could have been a professional porn star if he hadn't got his big break.
Oh, his big break. That's horrible.
I had something. I had like a whole repertoire about this envelope thing, and now it's just been.
Yeah, no. Let's go back to the envelope. So it's like Odd Job's hat, right? To where it's like the hat's obviously not razor sharp on the set, but they don't. Did they ever explain why Odd Job's hat decapitates little marble statues? I think he just throws it and people are like, oh, the hat must be sharp.
Yeah, well, it doesn't actually decapitate people. It actually only breaks their neck. It decapitates that statue. Because it's only supposed to be
So it's just a heavy hat.
Yeah, no, it's not sharp. It's just got an iron, like a bit of metal in the rim. So it's just supposed to be really hard and thrown like a hard frisbee.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my point is some things just don't need to be explained. You just show what the thing does, and then most of the time the audience just immediately accepts it.
At least with Oddjob's hat, they have the scene with the statue where he's frozen. It's like, I'm intimidating. I've got this hat that'll fucking kill you. And then he kills someone later. This is just like, I've got this square thing. I threw it, and it cut a guy's hand off. And it's like,
that's a good point. If they didn't explain Oddjob's hat and he throws it and like knocks somebody out.
Just kill somebody. Like, what the fuck happened there?
You're like, what?
And then later on you've got James Bond scared of a guy with a hat.
Yeah, it's like Oddjob throws his hat and James Bond just runs away. It's like, wait,
See, this is the difference between a good film and a bad film.
Yeah, just how basic things work. Like, you know, a film's gonna have something outrageous in it, but if you don't explain why it's outrageous or why it's unique, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's similar to when Hulk Hogan's walking down the street and everyone's criticizing his armor, even though it doesn't look that outrageous.
No, wasn't he in like LA too?
Yeah, exactly. It's like what this is normal. This guy's like just fucking cosplaying. What's wrong?
Yeah, the fact that he's not like homeless and like waving a syringe around at you.
Everyone's just like, get a load of this guy.
Yeah, get a load of this guy in the middle of Hollywood in a costume. Who would have known?
What a freak.
It's like going out during Halloween and going, look at all these nerds and their fucking cosplay. It's like, wait, you know what Halloween is, right? You know what you know what movies are, right? It's like they went down the one alleyway that had people who have never seen a movie in their life and went to visit LA, and they're like, oh, it seems like the movie should have followed them. They must have had an interesting time.
Well, what about the mime that's down that alleyway? Because he runs into that mime like 4 or 5 times, and the first time he runs into him, he's like in the seediest fucking place in LA. Like, he's like next to a bunch of graffiti near a liquor store doing his mime repertoire.
Yeah, that's a bit odd. If they had the mime doing little hand job gestures at people, it would make a lot more sense. It's not illegal if we don't say anything.
He's just gonna give you an invisible hand job.
Not touching you, it's still legal. Who wants a Hulk Hogan hand job?
Matt, what was your favorite part of the film?
I just like how there was one line I really liked where they called him Goldilocks. Like, I just felt like I actually laughed out loud at that. It's like, yo, Goldilocks. It's like
so cheesy, goes full circle.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, I also felt like, in today's hypersensitive society, that a scene like that would probably get a whole bunch of people would picket, I don't know, signs.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what are you saying? Hulk Hogan can't be a woman?
Yeah.
That would be an amazing twist if this whole time
that'd be just
Hulk Hogan was transitioning.
They couldn't make a movie about Hulk Hogan transitioning or anything like that. They tried with Daddy Daycare, right? No, that wasn't. But
Mr. Nanny.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Is anything yet?
Yeah, Mr. Nanny, but it still wasn't like him like putting on a dress and going, oh, it's time to take my hormones. No, it was a little bit different, but. Yeah, you can't have fun like that anymore because somebody's in fucking California or some fucking college campus is going to go, that's offensive. I don't get the joke. Do you think that's just funny? Yes. Hilarious.
Yeah, no.
No,
you go.
Well, fuck. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you. It's just, people and critics.
No, go.
They're the worst.
Keep ranting, man. I'm banking on this making our show popular, so. Just keep ranting, man.
Good. Well, I fucking hate critics, but I hate people even more because they think they're critics.
Everyone's a critic.
So would it be okay if the critic was like a gorilla or something then?
Absolutely.
If Coco the gorilla was gonna do a review of Suburban Commando, it'd be perfect.
If Coco the gorilla made a review that was full of racial epithets and like homo bigotry and all that, I would be totally okay with it. No, okay, here's the deal. A critic should see stuff that they don't like and tell you about it, because it's just the critic's opinion, and that they may give like a nuanced view to where like, this is my opinion, I know this is what I think about the cinematography and the technical aspects. A good critic will do that. A regular person will tend to just go, that movie sucked, it wasn't good, like saying it as a factual statement when it's really just what they think, and it never ceases to bother me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's this because of the internet and because people can do what we're doing now and basically just get online for a microphone. The whole art of criticism has gone out the fucking window. It's no longer you've got a degree in this, or you actually have fucking technical knowledge. It's you've got an opinion. Let's hear about it in 140 characters so that I can make a decision. And
I think regular people can be good critics. It's just they need to follow the same rule a critic does if they want to be taken seriously, and that's you got to take your opinion piece, put it there, then separate that from your technical complaints, so people that listen to it know, okay, well that's what you think. I may disagree, and the technical points are either good or bad. I might still see this even though you don't like it. Like, a critic's goal shouldn't be to like make sure people don't see a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's what it's become a power tool now to stop content that people don't like getting out. So even with, just take, I'll take an example from the opposite side of the camp that everyone complains about, say with Ghostbusters, and the people that are actually pissed off about it being all female, they're criticizing the trailers so heavily because they want people not to go and see that film. Solely because of the ideological aspects of it, not because of the film being bad, because they don't know the film's bad because they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I think that movie's gonna be shit, but you know what?
I think it's gonna be fucking terrible as well.
If it surprises me, that's great, and to be frank, I don't give a fuck what the gender of the Ghostbusters is. I don't care if they don't get the original cast. If you can make a good Ghostbusters film, then fucking have at it. But yeah, the people that are making a politics thing to where like, I'm not going to see that movie because fuck the SJWs, or people that are like, I'm going to see the movie because fuck all these these women hating fucking MRA fuckheads. Both sides are equally wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I will actively avoid something that's good and entertaining that I would enjoy because politics. It's like, you're a miserable person. Nobody should listen to your opinion on anything.
I concur. Do you concur, Matt? Matt, you have some first-hand experience with that kind of stuff, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, like for the small releases I've done, I've had a few criticisms published, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know. As you can probably tell, that I'm actually you want to.
Yeah, sure. I'll just fill you in Hellbent, Matt. Matt makes films normally about prostitutes and sex stuff. It's kind of like
cool
art house pornography. Do you?
That is not what I do.
It's not art house pornography.
Well, look, porno, just because something has like sex in it doesn't mean that it can't have creative value.
Of course, sex is the most creative thing possible. It's just a lot of people exploit people with sex. So I just want to make films about that concept.
Yeah, well, the thing is, your films deal with a lot of modern masculinity and Asian masculinity and Asian like femininity as well, and sexual exploitation between the two, and white men as well. So all that's going to be bundled into it. But basically, because of that, you get politically malaligned.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not even like some sort of like world maker, but it's even amongst like just the little articles that do come out seem to be quite negative sometimes, and it's like, wow, I'm not here to offend. I'm not actually trying to make a film about what I see, like I'm not here to actually offend people. Like I'm not trying to offend people. It is what it is. I mean, yeah, sex is sex.
Well, offense is taken, never given, and yeah, there's a thing going on, and it's been going on for a while. But you have sex-negative people and sex-positive people, and they both claim to be about the same thing. It's like freedom. No, it's all about freedom, and this is me being opinionated, but the sex-negative people tend to be the more authoritarian set. So if you don't do what appeals to them, you're a bigot.
Yeah, totally. It's a kind of neo-Puritanism. Puritanism?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the exact word I was thinking of, neo-Puritanism, where it's like they think it's the fucking Victorian
era or something like that. It's just that religion's been factored out of it now, and now it's social consciousness that's making people know we can't talk about sex, we can't talk about these things because, Anyway, would we then consider remaking Suburban Commando with a female in the lead?
Ooh.
Yeah, sure, why not? If it's a good movie, I don't care. You could have it a dog. In 15 years, people are going to go watch Air Bud and go, that's speciest. That's not a fair representation of dogs.
It's more likely to happen with that film Congo, because, they have like that Coco the talking monkey in that's not Coco, and it's a guy in a suit.
They lasered all those apes.
They killed all those old apes.
That's the only redeeming part of that movie.
The last 10 minutes of that film, fucking go off. It's crazy. They find a laser gun powered by diamonds, and they're killing mutant fucking gorillas. What? The rest of that movie's boring as fuck.
That's cool. It just turns into a video game at that point.
It's kind of like a very long.
It's great.
Very long hand job, but it's quite boring in the middle.
Well, one thing I do notice about critics, and this especially applies to the people that are political critics, and that's the issue MVP's having, to where they're not film critics, they're politics. They're that's what they do. They're not criticizing the film, they're criticizing the politics of it, not the content. Just the implications oh well, I'm on the left, so this doesn't appeal to me, and thus is bad. And you don't get critics that can separate that shit out, because they don't. The thing is, a lot of critics, they either have a fiercely negative or a fiercely positive opinion, because that's what gets attention. Nobody wants to watch a critic go,
it's actually propaganda.
Yeah, right.
It's actually propaganda. What it all is nowadays, I reckon. Most people, they're not there to actually think about. They put their opinion out there and try to get you to side with their opinion, as opposed to actually see it as a piece of art or a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not about the movie, it's about what they feel and what they support. So, and that's such a fucked up way of thinking. It's like, okay, for example, I don't agree with the politics in Apocalypse Now. I wouldn't want to be on that island.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go, oh no, this film is bad because Colonel Kurtz is an evil man. It's like, no, that's a fictional character. It's not a documentary.
And not just that, it's the films that these are films that critique a certain issue in society. To actually think that the film represents that is just complete stupidity. Where the fuck does that come from? You know what I mean?
Well, they're bringing back the attitude of media harms. So back when you had your Jack Thompsons and stuff saying, oh yeah, video games, they turn people into murderous psychopaths. They're bringing it back with film and comics and all that, saying by having this lady with the big boobies who's attractive, you're hurting women, and you're also making men who see that feel entitled to the boobies. So after they see your movie, they're going to be 0.1% more likely to go out and rape somebody. Where's evidence for that? Well, we don't have any evidence. Rape's been actually on the downturn. Everything's been getting better. But, my college professor says it's just It's fucking insanity, man. It's not critique.
I
It's
don't know, man.
politics.
After watching this movie, I kind of want to go lay a smackdown on some people.
Yeah. When I see Hulk Hogan flex his biceps, I just want to go find a big muscle man and
I want to go
fucking rape him.
lock some guys in their cars and
blow
take their dogs out. And
Yeah, take their dogs out.
did you guys notice that like the first thing that happens when Hulk Hogan gets to Earth in this movie is he ends up in a disco, and he doesn't like disco. And this is 1991. Disco hadn't been relevant for like quite a while.
Oh, I'll have to explain. During that period in time, it was really kind of hip to make fun of the 70s because they were all big nerds back then. The whole disco's dead thing was going on during the 80s, and that's like that's the equivalent of a meme that has expired.
Yeah.
Like, Dad Boy. You see Dad Boy
Dad
on
Boy.
Twitter. Yeah, by the time this podcast goes
Isn't
up,
that
that
meme
meme will
already
be dead. So if I made fun of it right now, well, I think it got replaced by SpongeBob Caveman or something.
Ugh.
But the point is that movie making fun of disco is pretty much on the same level of me, like going, that boy is a dumb meme and I don't like it. Then by the time this episode goes up, people are going to be like, what, how's that relevant to anything? It's just,
But the thing is, like, I in my
You
head, I
can't-
imagine that Hulk Hogan would actually like disco. Like, I think he'd pull some moves. I reckon he probably did disco in the 70s.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, like one of the wrestlers' names was Disco Inferno, but I don't think he had like
Yeah.
a beef with Hogan. So I don't think it was some like avant-garde. Oh, this is wrestling. Look, he fought Disco Inferno, and the Hulk Hogan character. It's not like that. No. The character Disco Stu in The Simpsons. Yeah, he was kind of created during that era too, to where, and it's an anomaly. There's no real explanation for it. It's just during that like period of time between 91 and 95. It was really funny to poke fun at disco.
I guess it's kind of like how we poke fun at early, like, 90s techno now.
Yeah. Or like how I make fun of Evanescence.
Stop making fun of my movie, man.
The 90s, good movies, good music, Counting Crows, so good.
Yeah, everything in the 90s was great. You know what I like, though, is that because now we're in 2016, people can't even remember 2000. Like, there is no 2000 retro. Like, okay, there's people like making fun of Evanescence, and then there's that fucking hip-hop song they played during the NBA and all that. But besides like a couple of songs here and there, it's not like, do you remember Fashion from 2005?
Yeah, baggy pants, right?
No, that's still the 90s.
That's the 90s.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. There was no. It's gotten to the point where there's so many reboots, rehashes, and relaunches, and fucking like callbacks and shit that there is no like 2000s cult. Like, okay, maybe you could argue late 90s culture, but anything past like 2002.
2002, right? Tony Hawk skateboarding 2. Yeah, that's my culture. That's it. I was
that's a hard reach. That has nowhere near the impact of like bell bottoms, spiky green mohawks, fucking flannel and torn jeans in the 90s. And even then, like as I go forward into the 90s, it starts becoming way more specific and off.
That is true. Was that Tony Hawk game?
I think that's.
Hang on. Was
Tony Hawk?
Yeah, wait. Are you talking about like? But if you're talking about early 2000s, it was like Pro Skater like 4 or something.
Oh, it might have been 4, but shit. See, I don't even remember what was that.
No. That was like 2.
What was
took
the one?
a while to
What
make
was the
next
one that came out when Attack of the Clones came out, and you could play as Jango Fett?
I think that was
the best one.
Yeah, it would have been.
It's either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh, Jango Fett. I forget Jango Fett. Oh, you mean Darth
No,
Maul?
you could play as Jango Fett. Like this was 2002.
I don't know. Like I know the second one lets you play as Spider-Man, so considering the second one had Spider-Man in it, and that was probably like when the Spider-Man movie was coming out.
It would have been because what was it, 2000 something?
Yeah, like it was just after 1999 because they had to like get rid of that movie trailer because it had the World Trade Center in it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
He caught the helicopter between the trade centers, and then they blew up the trade centers. And like, get rid of that.
Imagine being the marketing guy who came up with that trailer. Was like, this is fucking the best idea ever. This is gonna be iconic, and then
it was iconic. It was like better than any scene in any Spider-Man movie. It was fucking amazing. And then fucking Al Qaeda had to go fuck it up.
I mean, that's something you could picture in a Spider-Man comic.
Oh yeah, and also like 9,000 people died, but whatever.
Yeah, but you fucked my
Sam
film.
Raimi was very angry.
Sam Raimi.
I don't know. I honestly, the way marketing teams are and how fucking scummy they are, I bet they're high-fiving each other. It's like, yes, controversy. We're gonna be in the news now.
We couldn't buy that. We couldn't have bought that.
Yeah, They couldn't have planned that better. They're like, oh, I bet there's somebody in the marketing. He's like, yeah, I had a feeling the Twin Towers were going to go down. That's why I told him to do that. Give me a raise.
This is
getting a little bit too dark.
Too dark. It's just getting so far off topic. I think we've talked about Suburban Commando for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember when Hulk Hogan knocked down the Trade Center?
Did you know? Oh, check this out. I found out that Jordan Belfort actually produced Santa with Muscles, the next Hulk Hogan masterpiece.
Ooh,
Jordan Belfort produced.
It must have been like Resident Evil, to where he was sleeping with Hogan. Like, Resident Evil director is sleeping with the main character in that movie.
As in, what's her name? And Paul W.S. Anderson. Yeah.
Mila Jovovich.
And the guy who directed Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah.
Those movies make me... I know I'm getting off topic again, but... The reason why those movies make me so angry, it's like somebody's OC fan fiction to where it's like, no, my wife is even stronger than the Tyrant. And my wife is better than Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield. She is so more... She could fight Wesker. It's like, wait, what is this?
And now there's like 800 clones of my wife, so we can have an orgy.
Now I can jack off to this scene while my wife dances in front of the screen and I look at her CG clones. I appreciate the fact that they went off the script a little bit, but then it got to the point to where it's like, no, it literally felt like somebody writing a Sonic fan fiction, to where like their character comes in and beats up Robotnik and then like does all this other shit and like solves all the problems. It's like, well, then why do the main characters matter at all? Like, why does anything matter? This character's fucking unstoppable.
I think that's come from, like, the sort of Dragon Ball Z era of kids growing up, that there's always these characters that are constantly just getting leveled up and powered up until they're godlike. You know, the anime trope of, like, stalling for so long that you need these overpowered villains.
Yeah. Man, that's what ruins movies like that. Like, I understand, like, when I'm watching Captain America or something like that, I know Captain America's not going to die because there's going to be a sequel. When I watch Iron Man, I know they're not going to like have Tony Stark get shot in the face when he pulls up his face mask, even though that'd be really funny. But I know they're not going to do that. But then when I watch Resident Evil, I'm like, this is the director's wife. This is some really odd form of like worshiping his wife that for some reason Capcom's okay with and Sony's fine with. And nothing's bad's gonna happen to this character. She might get locked up.
That's it. Well, yeah. And there is 800 clones, so if she dies, there's another one there.
Yeah. To where with the Hulk Hogan movie, it's like you expect it. Because it's for kids, you know. They're not gonna, like, have, like, fucking Suburban Commando, like, walk out, then somebody pop up out of the bushes and slit Hulk Hogan's throat.
That'd be like,
really funny if
that'd be
that
like
happened,
putting,
like, at the midway
an
point.
executive decision where they had Steven Seagal in the move for like 5 seconds and then killed him off so Kurt Russell could take over.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be so great if a movie had level of balls. Like, not just, like, 5 minutes in the movie, but, like, have all this marketing to where there's, like, cardboard standees of this, like, really good action hero.
That is executive decision. They marketed the whole film with Steven Seagal and then killed him off 30 minutes into the movie, and everyone got fucking pissed. Like, people cracked it. Like,
it's awesome. That director's a hero.
Was, like, they had a problem with Seagal because, you know, Steven Seagal, mid-90s, like,
he's funny. He's this big, rotund Italian guy who's like, I'm a fucking lethal weapon. Like, the only thing he's been lethal to is a fucking Big Mac.
His ego was as big as how he is now. It was just hadn't caught up yet to the size of his body. So he was, like, cracking it about the script, and they just went, well, fuck it. We're just gonna kill you off. And they kill him off halfway through the film. And then they retroactively later on, like after all the marketing came out and the film came out and everyone cracked it, they just removed him from all of the posters and promotional material for the VHS. Like, well, there's no point pretending now.
Well, that's one way to go about it. Honestly, I think it would have been way better if they just wrote it like with that intended. Like, what better twist is there to have than to defy the audience's expectation by, like, killing off somebody who's played by an actor as a lead role that you think, no, this guy's going to make it to the end.
I think it would totally
He's going to
fly
survive.
Today, but in the mid-90s, there was no chance that was ever going to... People were so, you know, felt ripped off so often by films that, like, yeah, it just didn't work out well. And the film's not very good as well. That's
Yeah, that hurts. If the film's, like, really good, then it can definitely get away with that.
Be able to take up the action hero leads. I mean, it's fucking Snake Plissken. But he plays, like, this dorky, like, I'm the engineer guy, I'm not supposed to be on the plane, Steven Seagal's the action hero, oh, now I've got to be the action hero. But it doesn't work, because it's fucking Kurt Russell. It's like, of course Kurt Russell's still an action hero.
Yeah, I don't know. When it's done unintentionally, it's just not as good.
But yeah, it would be great if Hulk Hogan was killed off halfway through this film and replaced with a different wrestler.
Yeah, or even something comical, man. That could be done in such a comical way, like he's crossing the street and he just gets hit by a
Roddy
speeding
Piper's
car.
got to take over the rest of the film.
Yeah.
To be
Well, that's what made They Live so good. Like that fight scene in the middle of the movie. It's like nobody saw that coming. They didn't kill Piper off, but the fact that they had like such an extended fight scene, it defied expectations, and movies don't do that much anymore, you know.
It's a rarity these days. Did you say that, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Christopher Lloyd, just thinking about him in the film, it's like, what the fuck?
I don't understand how Christopher Lloyd got roped into this, because this is really, like, what? Back to the Future 3 came out in 1990, right? And, I mean, that was a mild hit still, yeah? Or am I...
Yeah, no, it's still, it did alright. I mean, it wasn't like a fan favorite,
this is, like, clearly not a theatrical
fine.
film. Like, I know that Christopher Lloyd's career died off really quickly, because, like, after this it was nothing, and then My Favorite Martian.
Mortal Kombat, right? No, it's Christopher Lambert.
How could you get those confused?
Lord Raiden. I don't watch movies as much as you guys. Probably a bad guess.
No, you're the perfect guess for this, man. What are you talking about?
You have to have somebody who doesn't know what he's talking about, otherwise everybody else doesn't seem smart.
The whole problem is that me and Matt already know all the film shit, so it's good to have somebody on who doesn't know film shit.
Yeah, we got the two trained critics and the guy who's just that dumbass on the internet is like, that movie was dumb. I don't understand. What Rosebud was the sled? That's gay.
See, I was hoping you were going to do some, like, Hulk Hogan impressions. That's the whole reason I got you on board. I was like, you know what? I'll get Hellbent on. Surely he'll be able to do some
Hulk
impressions.
Hogan's actually kind of hard. Like, even Hulk Hogan struggles doing Hulk Hogan.
Especially...
Now listen to me, brother. We're gonna make a shitty movie. Yeah, like I even... like, Macho Man, just a little bit better. But it hurts my throat. Like, I don't see how he could do this voice without doing lots of coke. Yeah! I don't know, like, go send me some cocaine and I'll get back. God, that hurt.
Well, that would make sense.
Like, you know how the feeling is when you, like, wrench your back? That's what my throat's going through right now. I have scripts to. I'm gonna be like, yeah. So, you know what? I don't blame Hulk Hogan. To carry that energy that he does in the wrestling promos for, like, an hour, that would be physically damaging.
It would be.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's not like that on set. He's not like that in the ring. He's not kind of like, oh, yeah, brother. Yeah, I'm gonna body slam you now, brother. Like, his vocal cords would be dead.
Would be. Maybe that's why he can't do it on film. Like, by the time it got to 1991, he was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like,
no, I've seen a video of him recently doing a promo, and he's got like 45 seconds in him before he's got to take a breather, and he's still really fit.
Yeah, he is.
He's still got the fucking pythons going and shit, but the 47-inch pythons, whatever. But that's rough, man.
He'd be pretty happy.
It's like when people tell me my voice is fake. If my voice was fake, I would not be able to continue to do the countdowns.
Yeah, fuck. Your voice is really interesting, though. Fuck. I mean,
Smoke pot all the time and then suddenly quit, and your voice will sound horrible like mine.
I think Matt's got a bit of a hard-on for your voice.
It's not the creepiest thing. I got some fans on Twitter.
Why do you put a pause there? Like, I've got some fans.
Well, okay, here's the thing, and I think people get this confused with Hulk Hogan too, so it's on topic. I think they conflate Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, with, like, Terry, the actual human being. I think it's like Terry something else. I want to say Terry Bogard, but no, that's a character from Fatal Fury. No, it's Terry something. But, yeah, you know, if you hire somebody like that who's only doing that in short cuts, and then you try to put it in a 2-hour movie, like, no, he's just Hulk Hogan. That's how he is all the time. When he wakes up and gets the cereal, it's like, oh, yeah, get me my honeycombs, brother. Yeah. It's just, there's nobody like that.
That's true.
Wait, do you have, like, voice groupies, though? I'm sure you've got voice groupies, you know, like, once in a while.
I get those, but the majority are people that, like, conflate me with the animated character. And they just love Vim's design so much, they got, like, a real wide-on for him.
You did probably get, like, you won the lottery when it came to the design aspect, in my opinion.
Yeah. Man, Vim sent me an image that was, like, the character without the devil skin on him. I'm like, no, make him a devil, though. And that sealed it in. That fucking made it work.
That make you look cool.
Yeah, I didn't ask him to make him to smoke because I just quit smoking when they did that. But I do like it that Vim heard my voice and immediately go, yeah, this guy smokes a pack a day, obviously.
Oh man, of course you do. Like, there's no way you didn't smoke a pack a day for like 80 years.
Like Tom Waits, man. Crazy.
I did for a while, so he's not off. But I quit.
Well, we need to wrap this up soon, so I want to get on one final point before we finish up. Now, according to Wikipedia, this film was originally written for Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow, they must have ran out of money.
No, apparently they decided to make twins instead.
That's a weird fucking movie if I ever heard one, yeah.
Weirder than Arnold Schwarzenegger being an alien from space and Danny DeVito rented.
You know what?
I mean, what is a weirder film?
I saw Twins because the concept freaked me out so much that I just couldn't do it.
Were you like, but they can't be twins. My mind is blown.
It was just gross. Also, it's another one of those movies where once they tell you the idea, you already seen the movie.
I mean, can you imagine like Schwarzenegger pitching that to people as well?
No, not really. Now see Danny DeVito, he puts his pee-pee in my butthole, and then I get pregnant. I get bad pregnant, yeah.
You're thinking of Junior, man.
Oh, whoops.
It's
the same movie.
It pretty much is.
That's good.
Junior 2 twins.
Yeah, now I know. Yeah, whoops. Oh well.
No, Twins is the movie where Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger are twins.
Oh, okay.
And they were gonna make a sequel called Triplets.
They don't fuck it anyway.
Yeah, they were twins and they fucked and then they got Could you cut both of those movies together to make that happen?
Well,
someone's probably done it on the internet. It's already up there.
Like, I bet if you cut a few scenes just right, you could have both plots in one movie.
Yeah, you could do it feasibly. Like, I'm sure somebody will now.
Yeah, get to work, internet. If nothing else, Photoshop it.
Do not Photoshop Danny DeVito fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, please.
Yeah. No, do it.
Oh, okay.
It's a good thing. It'll be a positive experience for everybody.
That'll be the new meme that we can talk about being updated next week.
Oh.
Butt pregnant.
Butt pregnant. It's like butt hurt, but with Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Danny DeVito.
Alright, so let's get some final thoughts in here. Matt, what's your summary and wrap up of Suburban Commando?
Yeah, well, it is a children's film. It's not aimed for the Oscar, but I think that it's the kind of, like, I'd watch. It'd be better with a group of friends. Okay, so I saw it alone. I think if I was with you and the guys, I'd probably like it a lot more.
Yeah, because we really liked Santa with Muscles when we watched it.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
Christmas.
But I
that
think
was really
weird.
fucking fun.
It's just me sitting here in my turtleneck sweater, just watching this and then occasionally stopping it to go an X-hamster. It's not really like it's not, it's probably better in different contexts.
So what you're saying is Suburban Commando would be a better film if you weren't wanking in between scenes.
Yeah. maybe yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Injury.
Hellbent, you have to top that.
I got 3 or 4 in the time of the 90-minute duration.
I think Suburban Commando would work better as a porno. I mean, obviously Hulk Hogan has the talent for pornography, so I think that'll work good. But
except he'd just sue whoever the fuck watched it.
Oh
yeah,
man,
well, that's a whole nother podcast, isn't it? Well, okay, Suburban Commando. It's like going up to SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, or like fucking Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, and going, where's the plot development? I need to know how Pee Wee develops as a person at the end of this movie. It's totally valid to critique it and say that it sucks and that it's blah, blah, blah. But it's not unlike going to McDonald's and like dressing up in a tuxedo and like taking your wife out and getting her like all dolled up and going to McDonald's and ordering a Big Mac and go, the service here is terrible. Oh my God, this Big Mac is not what it was hyped up to be. It's like, no, it's exactly what it was hyped up to be. You knew what you were getting into when you saw it. Like, not that it's wrong to hate it, or not that it's wrong to say this even for like a kid's movie, this sucks. Totally valid. But when you come into something like that and you just have these absurd expectations, it makes me like the movie more. That's what it ends up doing. Like when somebody's like, no, this does not fit my high standards. I'm like, oh boy, I better go see that one. This fucking nerd hates it.
I totally agree. The reason I want to do it is simply because so we could talk about that, because it's got a reputation as being a terrible film, and after having a positive experience with Santa with Muscles,
that was fun.
I felt this had potential from what I remembered from it from when I'd seen it as a kid. It seemed like it wouldn't have been as terrible, and it's not. There are some funny stuff. Like I actually really did laugh out loud a few times, especially with the Japanese businessmen and the dubbed lines and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's that scene at the start where he's saying like, "I hate this guy" to the boss, and the translator just goes, "Oh, he says he likes you very much and wants to do business."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Coward." Like saying coward to his assistant, like that to me, that's really funny. Like I laugh. I didn't expect that. Like that was a joke that worked for me, and to just like shit on it for what it is, which is like it's a money grab. We've got Hulk Hogan. Somebody's got Hulk Hogan. Christopher Lloyd obviously owed somebody a fucking favor. And it's like, let's just make this movie about that we've got a reject script from Arnold Schwarzenegger. It'll be fine. And it's more so. It's a product of its time, and a product for a certain audience of that time, and to just shit on it and be like, oh, it's terrible. It's not a well-made film. It's not a well-acted film. But
yeah, I'm not saying it should
enjoyable.
get like a fucking Oscar or anything like that, but there's
I
definitely.
would love to see Hulk Hogan win the Oscar.
That'd be great.
Oh yeah,
because his acceptance speech would be fucking amazing.
He'd be the perfect person to have there, but there's so many. Okay, this is an argument I've made in other portions of the internet. So you have art and you have entertainment. Now you can't have art without being entertainment because somebody has to find it entertaining, and you can't have entertainment without there being art there because even the most dumb shit like somebody slipping on a banana and falling on their ass, there's like artistic merit to that. It can be recreated and blah blah blah. But when something's made to be entertainment and you critique it for not being artistic enough, you're missing the point of the media. And the same goes for something artistic.
Or if you critique it for being too autistic.
Yeah, or I'm a high-functioning artistic. I love that joke.
This has been a pretty positive experience, and I think that we've all come out with a different viewpoint on Suburban Commando than most people on the internet would assume.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
really easy. Well, let me put it this way. If you come into something just ready to hate it, well, then you're going to hate it. But if you come into something with, like, an attitude of, like, I'm just going to let the movie be itself. I'm going to let this piece of media be itself. And then just let it do its thing without, like, being, well, that could have been funny if I wasn't just preemptively judging the shit out of it. It's, you're making it, you're just making your own life suck, basically.
Yeah. Everyone should just get along and love Suburban Commando more.
No, don't get along. That's dumb. But you should at least just try not to judge entertainment based off of some predisposition you may have. It's not unlike, okay, well, we'll compare it to something else. It's like being a fucking racist.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you're determined to just hate somebody based on what they look like, then you're not going to, make a friend where your best friend could be somebody of a different color. And if you're just going to be a big fucking racist, well, it's not going to happen. Because you already got this weird fucking crazy thing going on in your head, and you need to get rid of it.
All right, well, I suppose that's all the time we've got for today. That's a good way to. I kind of lost what you were saying there. I was just like, let's just end there and let Hellbent not clarify anything at all.
No, you're all racist. Everything's racist.
Everyone's racist, and you have to point it all out, Hellbent.
Yeah, give me Kickstarter money.
Come back next week when me and Matt preemptively judge something and hate on it for our own biases.
Well, thanks for having me on. We
don't have a guest lined up for next week, so I'm trying to get Danger Dolan on at some point.
Yeah, he knows a lot more about movies than I do.
Yeah, I still want to get you back on though at some your next convenient opportunity. So
absolutely.
Anytime you want to come back on, let me know. We'll plan it out
so we don't have to announce it here, and then I can just disappoint the shit out of everybody.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want you to be like, I'm going to be back in 2 weeks, because there's a chance
I never show up again.
There's a chance that I don't show up ever again, and it'll just be Matt on his own.
Yeah, it would be really embarrassing to book myself and then in one of these and die in a traffic accident. Because then people are just going to keep asking, where's Hellbent? Where did he go? You have to keep telling how he died.
But he's a demon. How could he be killed by a car?
Oh.
That would not be a good movie. But we'll definitely have you back on, man, and we'll try and do another Hulk Hogan movie.
Excellent.
Maybe we can do what was that one? Mr. Nanny What's the one? Is it the one where he's a nanny?
Yeah, no, that one to where he's
Nanny
like
with muscles.
having sex with that guy's wife. What was that called? Gawker. I forget. It was a cool movie though.
I hear that one's really hard to get copies of.
Yeah, it's a rare movie.
Something about yeah.
The reviews are good though.
See, I heard it was really bad.
Well, the people who published it didn't make a lot of money. It kind of destroyed the studio that made it, but it's still a cult classic.
You got to be careful when you distribute something, because if you don't have your contracts in order, you're really fucking up.
Yeah. Oh God. Now I just want to take a copy of like Mr. Nanny, then like interlace that video, not interlace, but cut in that fucking sex tape in over like the midsection.
No, you should just like put in a subliminal like one frame thing, like in Fight Club. Where man, just like one frame of porn.
I think you could totally edit it and just have a point where Hulk Hogan's walking in a door, then right when the door opens and the natural cut happens, put in that video to where he's walking in, then plowing Bubba the Love Sponge's wife. Then when he gets up and leave, have him like exit through the door and just resume the movie. The
best thing to do would be if we create like our own trailer for like a supercut of Hulk Hogan's best scenes, and just splice in little frames of that, and then send it out to Hulk Hogan and get him to retweet it.
Oh, he might.
He might.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tweet out to him
when you guys do it, not me.
When this goes up, I'm gonna tweet it out to old Hulky and see what happens.
You know what? I think Hulk Hogan would have a good sense of humor about all this if it weren't for the fact that he's like in court and still dealing with that.
Yeah,
that's true.
He seems like an all right guy. I'd let him fuck my wife. I bet he could still kick my ass even at his age. So I don't want to cross him.
He could kick my ass, that's for sure.
Okay, so when we ending this?
Whenever you want to say. Yeah, we'll end it.
Yeah, we'll end it. Go watch Suburban Mr. Commando Nanny.
Where can we find you, Hellbent? By the way, even though most of the people watching this are probably going to be from
go on YouTube and then type in Hellbent. I'm the guy at the YouTube channel. I'm not the gay porno slasher movie, but I kind of wish I was.
Let's review that next time.
We totally can. It's easily. I heard it's a good movie actually.
Wow, cool.
Be the judge of that.
Next episode sorted.
We'll review Hellbent. Guys. All right. Thanks for having me on.
Where can we find you, Matt? Matt doesn't exist.
I don't exist at this point, actually. That's the funny thing. Yeah, I don't.
All right, you guys can find us at Lost High Studios on Twitter and Lost High Studios on Facebook and obviously on YouTube. Catch you later, guys. Instead, I think. I mean, look, you're asking me about a game I played 10 years ago, like once, and you have, one of the mechanics in the game, which is brilliant, is that you can shoot off individual testicles of enemies. So every enemy, it would go into your targeting thing, and you can shoot off testicles.